Welcome back. I'm your host at Navy Legends, and I want to begin this one with a geography lesson about the most important 20 nautical miles of water in the global economy. The Bab-el-Mandeb Strait connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. It is 20 nautical miles wide at its narrowest point. Through it passes approximately 12% of global seaborne trade, roughly 6.2 million barrels of oil per day, container ships carrying consumer goods, grain carriers, LNG tankers. Every one of those vessels must pass through those 20 miles or accept a 6,000-mile detour around the Cape of Good Hope. Since November 2023, the Houthi movement, the Ansar Allah organization that controls northwestern Yemen and the western coast overlooking the Bab-el-Mandeb, has been exploiting that geography as a strategic lever, attacking commercial and military vessels with drones, cruise missiles, anti-ship ballistic missiles, and autonomous surface vehicles in a sustained campaign that has forced the U.S. Navy to deploy and maintain combat-capable surface forces in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden on a continuous rotation. Combined Task Force 153, the U.S.-led multinational maritime security task force responsible for Red Sea and Bab-el-Mandeb security, has been absorbing Houthi attacks since December 2023. By July 2028, it has been absorbing them for 4.5 years. The Houthi Maritime Warfare Committee has been studying the task force's defensive responses for 4.5 years. On July 19, 2028, they applied everything they had learned. The date is July 19, 2028. The time is 3:18 local. The Bab-el-Mandeb Strait, approximately 14 nautical miles southwest of the Yemeni port of Mocha and 19 nautical miles northeast of Djibouti's northern cape. Combined Task Force 153's transit security element, 3 warships moving in column through the eastern channel of the Bab-el-Mandeb at 12 knots, is providing escort coverage for a 9-vessel commercial convoy bound north into the Red Sea. The 3 warships are the USS Gravely, DDG-107, and Arleigh Burke-class Flight II, A destroyer. In the lead position, 4 nautical miles north of the convoy, the HNLMS Tromp, F-803, a Dutch De Zeven Provinciën-class air defense and command frigate. In the center position alongside the convoy's northern flank, and the USS Laboon, DDG-58, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, trailing 3 nautical miles south of the convoy. Combined Aegis air defense coverage from the Gravely and Laboon, supplemented by the Tromp's Smart L radar and ESSM capability, creates a layered defensive architecture across the strait's 20-mile width. The convoy is in the most dangerous 20 miles of the Red Sea campaign. The Houthi Maritime Warfare Committee has timed its operation accordingly. The Houthi operation, designated as Sword of the Bab, had been in preparation for 27 days. Its defining characteristic, the characteristic that distinguished it from every previous Houthi maritime strike that Navy Legends has analyzed, was the integration of 3 independent weapon systems in a coordinated 3-axis simultaneous engagement, each system approaching from a different geographic direction, each system engaging a different phase of the task force's defensive architecture. Axis 1, from the northeast, 6 Asef anti-ship ballistic missiles from mobile TEL batteries in the Hudaydah Governorate, targeting the Gravely and Laboon, with ballistic tracks designed to compress the Aegis BMD engagement timeline across both hulls simultaneously. Axis 2, from the north, 8 Quds 3 cruise missiles launched from pre-positioned mobile launchers along the Yemeni coast north of Mocha, approaching from low altitude along the coastline to exploit the ground clutter masking that the mountainous Yemeni terrain provides against sea-based radar at ranges under 18 nautical miles. Axis 3, from the west, 14 Bahr-2 autonomous surface vehicles deployed 22 hours prior from a mothership operating under commercial registry in the southern Red Sea. Their passive infrared seekers dormant, holding in the convoy's projected track corridor across the Western Channel. The simultaneous activation of all three axes was the operation's tactical foundation, not the weapons themselves. Every one of these systems had been employed individually against task force vessels in previous engagements. The combination. Axis 1, demanding SM-6 BMD engagement from both Aegis hulls simultaneously. Axis 2, demanding ESSM and CIWS attention against fast, low-altitude cruise missiles in the ground clutter masking zone of the Yemeni coastline. Axis 3, demanding surface engagement by gun and Hellfire at the moment when Aegis and ESSM capacity was most committed upward. The Houthi Maritime Warfare Committee had been studying the Gravely's engagement in the July 2027 Red Sea action and every subsequent task force defensive record available to them. They had built Sword of the Bab from the residual capacity math of those engagements. The question was not whether any single axis could penetrate the task force's defenses. The question was whether all three simultaneously could find the gaps between what the ships could do at the same time. At 3:18:03, the 6 Asef missiles launched from 3 TEL batteries in Hudaydah Governorate in a compressed 11-second sequence, 2 missiles per battery. The batteries positioned to produce approach tracks that separated the 6 contacts across a 31-degree arc, forcing the Gravely and Laboon to divide their BMD engagement coverage, rather than concentrating it on a single approach corridor. The Asef's ballistic profile, a semi-ballistic trajectory with a brief terminal dive phase, placed the re-entry window at approximately 5 minutes and 40 seconds from launch at the Bab-el-Mandeb's engagement range. At 3:18:07, 4 seconds after the Asef launch, 8 Quds 3 cruise missiles activated their propulsion systems from pre-positioned mobile launchers along the Ras Isa peninsula, bearing 024 degrees from the Tromp's current position at approximately 38 nautical miles. The Quds 3 is an improved variant of the Quds 1 that the Houthi forces have been employing since 2019. A solid-fuel cruise missile with a sea-skimming profile, a passive radar and infrared dual-mode seeker, and an assessed 230-kilogram warhead. The Ras Isa approach bearing placed the Quds 3 contacts behind the background ground clutter of the Yemeni coastline's mountain ridgeline at ranges below 22 nautical miles. The Smart-L radar on the Tromp, which had the best look-down coverage against low-altitude coastal targets of any radar in the task force, would detect them when they cleared the mountain masking zone at approximately 18 nautical miles from the convoy. At 3:18:11, 8 seconds after the Asef launch, the 14 Bahr-2 vehicles received their activation signal via acoustic modem from their mothership, 40 nautical miles to the west. Engines to full speed. Seekers active. 14 vehicles, each with a 210-kilogram shaped charge and a Nixie notch filter, accelerating toward the convoy's western flank from the holding positions in the Western Channel at 36 knots. Range to the nearest convoy vessel at time of activation, 17.4 nautical miles. 3 axes. 3 simultaneous timelines. 6 Asef tracks detected by the Gravely's SPY-1D V at 03:18:34, 31 seconds after launch. 8 Quds. 3 contacts detected by the Tromp's Smart-L at 03:23:17, 5 minutes and 10 seconds after launch, as the missiles cleared the Ras Isa mountain masking zone at 17.8 nautical miles from the Tromp. 14 Bar. 2 contacts detected by the Laboon's surface search radar at 03:19:04, 53 seconds after activation. At 3:18:34, the task force's tactical data link established a shared picture across all 3 warships. The commanding officer of the Gravely, as the task force's tactical commander in the strait, had the full threat picture within 6 seconds of the first detection. 6 ballistic tracks approaching from the northeast. 14 surface contacts accelerating from the west. 8 cruise missile contacts would appear from the north in 5 minutes. He made his allocation in the next 4 seconds. The Gravely and Laboon, full BMD mode, against the Asef ballistic tracks. SM-6 Block IB dual-mode interceptors, 2 per track, 12 rounds total, prioritizing the tracks with the tightest engagement geometry. The Tromp. Houthis. 3 primary engagement force when those contacts cleared the masking zone. ESSM and 76mm gun. The Laboon. Split allocation. BMD contribution for the 3 Asef tracks on the eastern portion of the arc, plus surface engagement responsibility for the Bahr-2 western approach when the BMD engagement resolved. The Gravely BMD primary for the 3 Asef tracks on the western arc, then surface engagement transition as time permitted. The convoy, ordered to maximum speed on course 195 degrees, south out of the strait, back into the Gulf of Aden, because a 9-vessel commercial convoy in the Bab-el-Mandeb during a 3-axis attack was a liability, not an asset to be protected in place. Or the SM-6 BMD engagement against the 6 Asef tracks ran from 03-2014 to 03-21-09. 12 SM-6 rounds across 2 holes against 6 tracks in a 31-degree arc, 4 clean intercepts, the KKV impacts and proximity detonations producing confirmed warhead fragmentation at altitudes between 31 and 48 kilometers. 2 tracks were harder. The 5th Asef, the westernmost track in the arc, had executed a 3.4G terminal maneuver that placed it outside the primary SM-6's intercept geometry at 03-21-02. The backup SM-6 reacquired and detonated at 16 meters from the warhead section at 03-21-07. Warhead section fragmented. The 6th Asef, the track assigned to the Laboon's engagement corridor, was engaged by both its primary and backup SM-6 rounds. The primary detonated at 38 meters from the MARV's nose, marginally outside the optimal zone, fragmenting the guidance and seeker electronics, but leaving the warhead casing structurally intact. The backup SM-6 detonated at 9 meters, driving fragmentation through the warhead casing. The energetic fill did not initiate. The warhead section fell in fragments into the Bab-el-Mandeb, 1.8 nautical miles northeast of the Laboon. 5 of 6 Asef warhead sections fragmented above the strait. 1 compromised warhead section falling in fragments, impacting the sea 1.8 nautical miles from the Laboon. The largest fragment, 34 kilograms of steel casing, impacting the water 610 meters from the Laboon's hull and producing a brief pressure pulse of 0.1 G. Inconsequential, the BMD phase was complete. The Gravely and Laboon had expended 12 SM-6 rounds. Their BMD magazine was exhausted. They had SM-2 Block 3B remaining for surface mode cruise missile engagement, ESSM for terminal defense, and their gun and CIWS systems intact. But their SM-6 inventory, the rounds that provide both BMD and extended range surface mode engagement capability, was gone. The Quds 3 contacts cleared the Ras Isa mountain masking zone at 03-23-17. 8 contacts, bearing 024 degrees from the Tromp, range 17.8 nautical miles, sea skimming at 9 meters altitude, speed Mach 0.74. The Tromp's Smart L had been tracking the ground clutter return, behind which the contacts had been concealed, and had pre-positioned its ESSM fire control solution for the moment they emerged. ESSM launched at 3:23:24, 7 seconds after detection. 16 rounds, 2 per contact, from the Tromp's Mark 41 VLS cells. The Dutch frigate's APAR phased array radar provided simultaneous illumination across 8 contacts without the sequential illuminator constraint of an older SPY-1 fire control architecture. 6 of 8 Quds, 3 contacts were neutralized by ESSM between 03-2408 and 03-2519 at ranges between 6.4 and 11.2 nautical miles from the task force. 2 contacts survived the ESSM layer. The first surviving Quds 3 had its guidance electronics partially damaged by a proximity ESSM detonation at 4.8 nautical miles. The missile continuing on its last commanded heading with degraded seeker, tracking the Gravely's radar emission at 3.9 nautical miles. The Gravely's forward phalanx acquired the contact at 3,600 meters. Burst fired at 3,100 meters. Clean neutralization at 2,800 meters. Warhead detonation at 2,600 meters. 0.3 G impulse reaching the Gravely. Logged. The second surviving Quds 3 had evaded both ESSM rounds assigned to it through a combination of its terrain-hugging approach profile and a guidance update that shifted its final approach bearing by 7 degrees at 6.1 nautical miles, placing it in the seam between the Tromp's two adjacent ESSM engagement sectors. Both ESSM rounds had detonated in proximity, but behind the missile's new bearing after the turn. The Quds 3's dual-mode seeker, passive radar on the primary channel, imaging infrared on the secondary, had selected the HNLMS Tromp as its terminal target based on the Dutch frigate's radar emissions, being the largest concentrated electronic signature in the strait at that moment. The Tromp had no phalanx. Her close-in weapon was the Goalkeeper CYWS system, a 30mm rotary cannon with comparable performance to the U.S. Navy's 20mm Phalanx. The Goalkeeper acquired the Quds 3 at 3,100 meters range at 03:25:44, a 0.9-second burst, 21 rounds of 30mm, 14 confirmed impacts on the missile's fuselage. The Quds 3 impacted the sea at 1,800 meters from the Tromp's hull, the Goalkeeper's fragmentation having destroyed the propulsion section, but not initiating the warhead before water impact. The 230-kilogram warhead detonated on water contact at 1,800 meters. The blast reached the Tromp as a 0.9 G shock impulse. On the Tromp's bridge, the 0.9 G shock unseated the ship's electronic chart display from its console mounting. A commercial chart plotter that had not been shock qualified to military standards when it was integrated into the Dutch frigate's navigation suite during her most recent refit. The chart display fell from its mount and shattered against the console edge. The Tromp's navigation team switched to the backup chart table within 40 seconds. 4 Dutch sailors sustained minor injuries, 2 blast concussions, 1 lacerated forearm from the chart display impact, 1 sprained wrist from bracing against a console during the shock event. The Quds 3 phase was complete. The Tromp had expended 16 ESSM rounds and absorbed a 0.9 G shock event. She was fully operational. The Bahr-2 surface engagement had been developing throughout both the BMD and cruise missile phases. The Laboon, assigned as the primary surface engagement force, had been engaging the Western Bahr-2 contact group with her 5-inch Mark 45 gun since 03:20:44, 6 minutes after the vehicles activated. The Gravely had contributed gunfire from her position to the north once the BMD engagement resolved at 03:21:09. Between 3:20:44 and 3:27:11, combined gunfire from both Arleigh Burke destroyers had accounted for 7 Bahr-2 vehicles at ranges between 11 and 19 nautical miles. 7 contacts remaining. The Gravely's MH-60R, callsign Raven 2-1, launched at 3:19:14, 63 seconds after the first Bahr-2 contact detection, had been running systematic Hellfire engagement against the swarm's leading contacts since 3:22:08. 7 Hellfire rounds expended through 03:27:44. 5 confirmed Bahr, 2 vehicles neutralized by Hellfire, 2 remaining, 2 Bahr, 2 contacts, both at ranges between 4.1 and 5.3 nautical miles from the Tromp. The Dutch frigate's position, not the destroyer's positions, was the closest hull to the Western Channel at this point in the convoy's emergency southbound withdrawal. The Tromp's 76mm OTO Melara gun, still fully operational despite the 0.9 GE shock event, engaged both contacts at 032801. The 76mm at 120 rounds per minute against surface targets at 4 to 5 nautical miles was within the gun's effective engagement envelope. First contact neutralized at 3 hours 28 minutes and 19 seconds at 4.1 nautical miles. Second contact neutralized at 3 hours 28 minutes 44 seconds at 3.7 nautical miles. The second vehicle's shaped charge detonated at 3.7 nautical miles from the Tromp, 6,900 meters, the blast pressure wave arriving at the Dutch frigate as 0.02 G. Imperceptible, all 14 Bahr-2 contacts neutralized. Total engagement duration from first Bahr-2 detection to last vehicle destruction, 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Total Sword of the Bab engagement duration from first Asef detection to last Bahr-2 neutralization, 10 minutes and 40 seconds, running from 3 hours 18 minutes, 34 seconds to 3 hours, 29 minutes 14 seconds. 3 simultaneous weapon axes, 6 Asef ballistic missiles, 5 warhead sections fragmented in the BMD phase, 1 casing compromised and falling in fragments, 8 Qds, 3 cruise missiles, 6 neutralized by ESSM, 1 by Phalanx, 1 by Goalkeeper with a 0.9 G near miss on the Tromp, 14 Bahr-2 surface vehicles, all 14 neutralized by gun and Hellfire. 0 warhead impacts on any task force vessel or convoy ship. The convoy had completed its emergency turn south and was now 7 nautical miles clear of the strait. All 9 vessels undamaged. The retaliatory authorization came from 5th Fleet at 0344, 26 minutes after the first Asef launch. The target package identified the Hudaydah Governorate, TEL battery areas from which the 6 Asef missiles had been fired, the Ras Isa peninsula launch sites from which the Quds 3 salvo had originated, the Bahr-2 mothership still tracking in the southern Red Sea, and, as the highest priority target, the Houthi Maritime Warfare Committee's operational coordination node at Al-Thawra in Hudaydah City, identified by signals intelligence as the command authority that had authorized the Sword of the Bab operation. 14 Tomahawk Block 5 rounds from the Gravely, Laboon, and Tromp launched between 0351-07 and 0351-34. 4 rounds targeting the Hudaydah TEL battery areas. 4 rounds targeting the Ras Isa peninsula launch infrastructure. 2 rounds targeting the Bahr-2 mothership, located by the Laboon's MH-60R, which had been tasked with maritime surveillance after expending its Hellfire load. 4 rounds targeting the Al-Thawra coordination node. The Hudaydah TEL area strikes confirmed 2 of 3 battery positions occupied at time of impact. Both struck, 1 position empty, the TEL having relocated under standard post-launch dispersal. The Ras Isa Peninsula strikes impacted all 4 designated launcher preparation areas. Post-strike imagery showed 2 confirmed launcher vehicles destroyed, and the access road to the peninsula's northern launch area severed by a crater that would require heavy equipment to repair. The Bahr-2 mothership, a 52-meter converted fishing vessel operating under Yemeni registry, was struck by both assigned Tomahawks at 4:37:11 and 4:37:19. The vessel sustained catastrophic structural damage and was assessed as sinking within 22 minutes of impact. The Al-Thawra coordination node took all 4 assigned Tomahawks between 043802 and 043821. Post-strike signals intelligence showed complete cessation of Houthi Maritime Warfare Committee communications traffic associated with the facility within 6 seconds of the first impact. A new communications pattern, assessed as a backup command authority activating from an alternate location in the Hudaydah Governorate, appeared 44 minutes later on a previously unmapped frequency. The convoy resumed its northbound Red Sea transit at 6:14 under task force escort. All 9 commercial vessels arrived at their respective Red Sea ports within 41 hours of the engagement. Here at Navy Legends, July 19, 2028, is the engagement that marks the operational maturity of the Houthi Maritime Warfare Committee's multi-axis doctrine, after 4.5 years of continuous engagement with task force vessels in the Red Sea. Sword of the Bab was not improvised. It was not a capability demonstration for political effect. It was a precisely engineered attack built from 4 years of studying Combined Task Force 153's defensive responses, the SM-6 allocation patterns observed in previous BMD engagements, the Tromp's ESSM engagement sector geometry, the Bahr-2 swarm attrition rates at different initial ranges, and the gap in the task force's defensive coverage created by the simultaneous commitment of SM-6 to BMD and ESSM to the cruise missile layer. The operation did not succeed in striking any vessel, but it consumed 12 SM-6 rounds from 2 destroyers, the full BMD magazine of both Aegis hulls in the strait. It consumed 16 ESSM rounds from the Tromp. It expended 7 Hellfire rounds from the Gravely's helicopter. And it demonstrated, with operational precision, that a non-state actor operating from contested territory in Yemen with Iranian-supplied weapons and 4 years of tactical learning can design and execute a 3-axis simultaneous engagement against a combat-ready US-led naval task force in a confined strait and come within 0.9 G and 1,800 meters of putting a warhead into a NATO frigate. The 12 SM-6 rounds consumed in the Asef BMD engagement are not replaceable at sea. The Gravely and Laboon will not have SM-6 capacity for any subsequent BMD engagement in this patrol cycle until they return to a logistics pier. In the Bab-el-Mandeb, every patrol cycle includes multiple transits. The Houthi Maritime Warfare Committee does not need to successfully strike a U.S. warship to degrade the task force's defensive capacity over the duration of a deployment. They need to force SM-6 expenditure. They have been doing it systematically, engagement by engagement, since December 2023. The Bab-el-Mandeb is 20 nautical miles wide. The task force crosses it in both directions, multiple times per week, and has been doing so for 4.5 years. On July 19, 2028, the Houthi Maritime Warfare Committee demonstrated that they had not been wasting those 4.5 years. Stay informed, stay vigilant. I'll see you in the next